The expectation by a premium client is that you are going to show up as a professional and that you are going to have exactly what they're looking for. Stop making them do the work.
All right. I'm Rebecca Hay, and I've built a successful interior design business by trial and error, podcasts, online courses, and so many freaking books. Over the last decade, I've grown from an insecure student to having false starts to careers, and now I'm finally in the place where I want to be. Throughout my journey, it's been pretty obvious that I'm passionate about business and helping other entrepreneurs do the same. Each week, I'll share tangible takeaways from my own experience and the experiences of other badass women to help you build your confidence and change your business.
Hey, it's Rebecca, and you are listening to Resilient by Design. Today, I wanted to pop on here to talk about this idea of premium clients. What does that even mean? And what do they expect from their interior designer? Because I think oftentimes as designers, we want high-end clients. We want dream clients, but we're not sure how to get them. We're not sure how to attract them. And so I thought this would be a great place to start this conversation. As you know, I'm about to host my very first boot camp where I'm diving into 2 weeks. It's like a boot camp where I'm going to show up and I'm going to train you in all the things that you can do to set up your inquiry process, the very first steps in your business when you are meeting with potential clients, and how do you attract those premium clients. So if you guys love this episode, you're going to want to go check out the boot camp, RebeccaHay.com/bootcamp. But I want to dive into this idea right now, here today, because I think there's a misconception of what we need to do to attract premium clients. Premium clients, what does that even mean? Well, I'll be honest with you, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I could say really that it starts off with, it is a client who truly values your expertise. They value your professionalism, and they want a seamless experience. They are a client who is used to having things taken care of professionally. They are likely someone who hires other professionals. They are someone who values time for money, meaning that they would rather pay more money to you than take the time themselves to do it. That is a key distinction. A lot of us, when we're starting out, end up with clients who maybe can't afford a designer, but they want a luxury designer because they've seen HGTV and their friend and so-and-so, and they know that they can't do it themselves, but they kind of maybe either fancy themselves a designer, or even if they don't, they're tight with finances. And so they're trying to find ways to like squeeze out what they can from their designer in a combination with their own like time. So they'll take their time to like shop, whether it's shopping online or going to the store, or they want you to take them places and they want to be involved and they want to be a part of it, because their time isn't as valuable as a premium client. It's not that it isn't as valuable. Sorry, scratch that. Their time is valuable. But what I mean is they aren't making as much money in their job or their business for their time necessarily as somebody else. And so they don't see the trade-off, right? So like those clients in the early years, even if they're making a lot of money, they don't really value the expertise to the same extent. So they're like, well, I'll just spend some time and do it because why would I pay? Or if it's a premium client, you get clients saying like, wouldn't even know where to begin. I am so busy running my life and doing my job. I would much prefer to just pay for you to get it done well, so I don't have to worry about it. I want to be clear that just because a client makes a lot of money or has a lot of money, that does not qualify them as a premium client. And this is where sometimes we get caught off guard. I know I've been in that situation where I'm like, oh my God, this client's so wealthy. This is going to be the best job. They have so much money to spend. But guess what? They were actually super tight with their finances, didn't fully value my expertise because they kind of fancied themselves a designer. And let's face it, it wasn't a great experience. It was not the premium client experience for me, and I don't think it was for them either. So a premium client, in my opinion, is someone who values expertise. They value professionalism and a seamless experience. They don't want to micromanage, right? They are used to hiring professionals they trust. They're more focused on results than price. So this is a clear distinction because sometimes you might find a really great client who is lovely to work with, but they're really just so price conscious that even though they trust your aesthetic, they keep asking you to reselect or can we find it cheaper? And it's not that they don't value what you do, they just don't have deep pockets. So it's this combination between people who are willing to invest and they might stretch themselves. Like when you go shopping for a pair of jeans, maybe you've budgeted $200, which is so crazy, by the way. Like I remember when $200 jeans were like Gucci. Anyways, I digress. And you try on a bunch of jeans, but the jeans that look the best on you, that are such good quality, that feel so good, they look amazing, are $400. What do you do? Do you say, fuck it, I'm going to invest in the $400 jeans because I will have these for life and they make me look amazing? Or will you say, nope, I didn't budget that. I am happy with a lesser quality product because it fits in my budget? Which one are you? You might pick A or B regardless of how much money is in your bank account because you value quality clothing, how you look, showing up, feeling professional in your fancy denim. You might stretch yourself to spend the $400. So what we're talking about today is that client, whether they're stretching themselves or not, but that values that premium service. I hope I didn't just confuse you. I feel like I confused myself a little bit there. And that's what I wanted to dive into is a lot of the mistakes that many of us designers make in those early years when we're trying to find our footing is that we don't have a very clear sense of who that client is and our positioning is not super clear. So our brand doesn't reflect premium services, right? Our marketing that we're doing, our conversation that we're having is not reflecting that of a premier service. So let's dive into this idea. Let's talk about the premium client expectations. First impressions. What does it look like when a new potential client first reaches out to you? What does it look like? What is their experience like? How are you communicating? How are you handling yourself in a discovery call? How are you showing up at the consultation? You need to stand out from the other designers right from the get-go. And you're going to have to decide what that is for you. But what is that first impression? And I want you to just take a minute and really reflect. And, this is something we're going to work on inside the bootcamp, but like really reflecting on how are you showing up? What is it that you're doing to attract the people who are coming to you? Because they're coming to you for a reason. What is the first impression? Is your first impression, I'm super friendly, but I'm casual? Is your first impression more aloof? Is your first impression, wow, she does high-end projects? Is their first impression, holy heck, she's organized? What is it? Because your first impression is really your bargaining chip. That is what is going to make you stand out. And it's really hard to come back from a bad first impression. We know this. We see this in the world. It's like dating, right? I mean, I don't really remember, but you meet someone the first time. Yeah, they could grow on you. Absolutely. But when you are competing against other designers, because let's face it, a lot of these premium clients will be looking at different design firms and trying to figure out which one's the best fit for them because they notice and they value that not everyone is for them. A client that's not premium is just going to take a designer as long as they fit in their price range. Do you see that distinction? Often in the early years, I would have people come to me. Honestly, they were referred to me by a past client or a friend. They had not looked up other designers. I was not in competition with anyone. At the time, I thought, oh, this is so great. Like they just love me and they want me and they're not even going to look around. But actually, I realized that they just needed a designer. That was not the dream for me. Not to say that some people just know that they want you and they reach out to you. Obviously, that's going to happen. But you have to be wary of that. So what is your first impression? First impressions count. What does it look like when they first reach out to you? Do you need to make some tweaks to how you show up? The expectation by a premium client is that you are going to show up as a professional and that you are going to have exactly what they're looking for. I just had an interview with an executive assistant who I'm considering bringing on to help me manage my life and keep me organized. And I created a list before I had the call with her. And it was literally all the things that I really thought I needed help with. And then in the call, every single thing that I need help with is her area of expertise and her experience. And so for me, I was like, boom, this seems like the perfect alignment. She doesn't have other experience in other areas, but that's not important to me for this role. It's no different than when a design client comes to you and wants to make sure that you have the skill set, but also the knowledge and the professionalism. Okay, first impressions. The second area that I think is important to recognize that premium clients are expecting is communication and boundaries. Premium clients expect that you will hold boundaries because you're professional and you won't let people step all over you. When you over communicate, make yourself overly available evenings and weekends, texting, those are not boundaries. They do not make you look professional. I'm sorry. This is tough love Rebecca coming out here. She comes out from time to time. Guys, if I'm tough love about something, it's because I learned it the hard way. It's because I did these things like frick. Truthfully, I thought the customer's always right, make myself available, respond to the text messages at 11 o'clock at night, even though I'm bawling my eyes out. How am I going to respond to them? Like, I just didn't have boundaries. It wasn't professional. Also, how you communicate with those clients on a regular basis is going to be important to them. Their expectation is that they are going to have a regular cadence to hear from you, not just higgly wiggly here and there. One week they get 3 emails and then the next week nothing. You need to have a regular cadence to your updates. There needs to be a regular frequency. Whether it's manual or automated, I actually don't think matters. I think a lot of us get caught up in this, digital age where we think we need to have like a Calendly link to book and we need to have automated reminders and we need to have client portals. In my experience, a premium client doesn't care as much about that as you think. What they do care more about is a personal touch and the regular communication. What you can do from the get-go is set that communication plan in front of them. So before they've even hired you, I think it is a leveraging point that you can use to stand out professionally to say, we communicate between the hours of 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Email is best and blah, 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 whatever your protocols are. I recently hired a graphic designer. We're working on a rebrand. At first, when she sent the email, their work operating hours are Monday through Thursday from like 9 to 4. And I was like, whoa, that's ballsy. But then I thought, okay, good for her. Shoot, she's clearly professional. She has structure in place. She's got a team, obviously, to support her. Whether she does or not, I don't know. I'll just have to make sure that I send her emails in those days. That works for her. It might be different if you're managing a job site. I'm just giving you an example. All I will say about the automation piece, and then I'll move on from this, is that Calendly links and things like that are fun and they're good, and sending digital questionnaires feel like they're professional. And I can see how on one side they are professional. They do look like you're organized or using the digital world. But I'm going to give you a little spoiler here, something that took me a while to learn. Premium clients don't want to do any work. What does that mean? That means they don't want to take the time to fill out your design questionnaire. It's a pain in the arse. They don't want to take the time to click on the calendar link, look at your calendar. Then they got to open up their calendar to match it and see, like, are those dates, do they match? Stop making them do the work. Premium clients are hiring you to do it, whether you're full service or not. If you want someone to pay top dollar, even if all you do is e-design, make sure you're making it easy for them. Stop making them do the work. Does that make sense? I actually had a client. This is how I learned this. Before the pandemic, or just right around the pandemic, actually, we had a decorating project, an older couple, definitely like an ideal client. It seemed up front anyhow. I sent them the questionnaire. I used to have a design style questionnaire. It wasn't necessarily just design style. It was just like a client questionnaire just to get to know like what were they looking for in their kitchen. I had like a million questions. Like, do you like a single bowl sink versus a double bowl? Like, it was a lot of things. And it was before I went to the consultation. Or maybe it was before trade day. I don't remember at what point during my process I sent it to them, but I do remember that when I asked him and reminded him to fill it out, like the husband, he wrote back and said, I don't have time to fill this out. Can you ask me these questions when we meet? I'd be happy to discuss. And to me, it was like a light bulb moment. I'm like, oh my God, I'm asking them to do my job for me. It helps me, but it's actually not helping them as much as I thought it was. And then lastly, premium clients expect their interior designer to be the expert. I feel like this goes without saying, but I think it's important to position yourself as the expert at the beginning. Everything happens at the beginning, guys. Yes, later on, you need to serve them with your process. That's why I have Power of Process. But at the very beginning, just to get the right clients into you, you need to show up as the expert and show them you're the expert, that you're not going to drop the ball, that they are in good hands. Part of this is having that proven process, right? When you have a proven process, it shows them this isn't my first kick at the can. I know how to run a successful design project from A to Z. So what can you do to show them you're the expert? Is it imagery of your past projects? I share how I run my consultation with designers, and a lot of what I teach in there helps to position me to my clients as an expert. And it's subtle tweaks and things that you can do, because it's great to be friendly and it's great to be a people person and it's great to be talented, but that is not enough to reassure your premium client that you've got this. This is a bit of a tough love. Didn't mean it for it to be so tough. Okay. Wow. I hope that just gets your brain firing off a little bit, thinking about ideas, thinking about, wait, is there something I'm doing that's not professional? Or am I not showing up? Or am I not holding boundaries? Like, what are those small tweaks I can make? And if you guys really like this topic and you want to get a better sense of how you can actually bring in those premium clients into your design business to actually turn them into projects, you definitely want to join my boot camp. It is a 2-week boot camp. We've got 10 weekdays. I'm going to be doing weekday mindset sessions in the morning. I'm going to be showing up for live trainings where I'm going to walk you through key strategies that have really helped me, and they helped me in the early years transition my business and grow to 7 figures literally in under 5 years. Major shifts that I did. And we're going to have a private pop-up Facebook group. So you can talk with each other. You can share your wins. You can share what you're going through. There's a welcome party and all the things. I think you guys are going to love it. I've never done this before. It starts February 18th. So that's coming up. Tuesday, February 18th, we will open the doors to the boot camp. So go check it out, RebeccaHay.com/bootcamp. And let me know if this episode was helpful. Was it too much tough love? Do you like the tough love, Rebecca? Send me a DM on Instagram. And of course, please, I would love to hear your review of our podcast in iTunes or wherever you listen to this podcast so that we can get more designers in our community listening and learning and growing. All right. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.
The Resilient by Design podcast is produced by Vera Marquez, edited by Abby Circatella, and hosted by yours truly, Rebecca Hay.